distinguished senior officers, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Borno State, with the Chief of Guest. You are welcome, sir.
Good afternoon. Let me first and foremost use this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation to the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, and indeed the entire Nigerian Air Force family for bringing lasting peace and stability into the Northeast sub-region. In addition to carrying out your mandate, your command has been providing enormous support to the government and people of Borno State in terms of providing airplanes to our movement into the hard-hit areas. Never a time the government and people of Borno State requested for an assistance from your own command, be it in Maiduguri or in Abuja, that our demand has been turned down. I also wish to express my sincere appreciation to the humanitarian support that you have been rendering. I can't vividly recall when I was the Commissioner for Reconstruction, Rehabilitation and Resettlement. You visited Maiduguri and its environment several times. I was opportune to see some of your outreach health centers in Bama, as well as in Maiduguri, among others. These health centers has provided a lot to our people in providing affordable and quality health care system to the displaced communities. The insurgency has triggered acute humanitarian and post-displacement crisis with devastating social and economic impact on the population, further deepening fragility and poverty in the Northeast sub-region. And therefore, the very important thing that we need to do is to address the root causes of the insurgency, which are not limited to endemic poverty, but basic illiteracy, unemployment, among others. And therefore, the only solution is for us to support the return of people to their original homes, so that they can earn the means of livelihood by themselves. The growing number of internally displaced persons across the Northeast sub-region, especially in Borno State. This large population can never depend on the vagaries for food production from INGOs alone. The only solution is for them to go back to their homelands. And then this war cannot be ended by kinetic measures alone. There must be some certain political solutions to this war. And the political solutions, as we have discussed within the last 2 days, is to reduce the increasing trust deficit between the Nigerian military and the population. And one way for us to reduce the trust deficit is to ensure safe return of internally displaced persons to their original homes in a dignified manner, while commending all your efforts openly to the admiration of others. We must also seek for your additional support with a view to eliminating the insurgents to the barest minimal. Within the last 2 years, We had many attacks by the insurgents in many of our communities. Believe me sincerely, over 90% of these attacks were repelled by the Air Force Main. Our telephones are open 24/7. Whenever I receive an intelligence report that the insurgents are attacking a particular village, immediately I use to forward such messages to your Air Tactical Command Unit in Maiduguri. And to my surprise, I don't think they used to sleep. Within a couple of minutes, the next message that will enter into my SIM is that, Your Excellency, sir, we have taken over. And therefore, whoever is not grateful to his fellow human being will not be grateful to his Lord. We remain eternally grateful to you. And indeed, the people of Nigeria, people of Borno State, and indeed the people of Nigeria are keenly watching the good works that you are doing. And may Almighty Allah in His infinite wisdom reward the Chief of Air Staff and reward all of you for the nice job that you are doing. Now, our main request is for the Nigerian military to take over the shores of the Lake Chad. We have identified some key areas in the shores of the Lake Chad. Areas in Marche local government, in Kukawa local government, in Guzamala local government, in Abadama local government, Bama local government, and to some certain extent, the Sambisa region, Tikwa, Mafa, among others. These people were willing them to return as soon as possible. One of our major impediments is the presence of remnants of the insurgencies in the Tumbus and the Sambisas. And therefore, we are calling upon you, like Oliver Twist, to again continue with your good works by hitting the enclaves by Air Force, by air power, so that we shall degrade them to the barest minimal with a view to allowing the human population to return back to their homelands. The Lake Chad Basin hitherto provides employment opportunities to about 10 million Nigerians who are not only residing in the northeast sub-region, but they are also residing in the north central and other parts of the country. Unfortunately, the area is providing now cannot provide job to even one person. That's the true figure. And therefore, infiltration of arms and ammunition into Nigeria are coming to the country through the shores of the Lake Chad. The headquarters of the insurgents is the Lake Chad. Not even Boko Haram, other insurgents that are operating in the northwest and north central. Their headquarters are still in the north shores of the Lake Chad. Therefore, we need your support to again provide air surveillance, provide air bombardments, so that you can degrade them to the barest minimal, while the Nigerian military armed forces should be urged to take the war into their enclaves using the ground operation. On this note, once again, on behalf of the people and government of Borno State, I wish to express my appreciation to you, as well as your branch chief directors and your main on ground for the wonderful job that you are doing and for the warm reception that has been accorded to me. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
First and foremost, welcome His Excellency and his distinguished members of the entourage to the Air Force headquarters. We are very excited to have you around, And we are very happy that despite your very tight schedule, you are able to take time off to visit our headquarters. I want to also assure His Excellency that the Nigerian Air Force, working with other security agencies, will continue to do everything humanly possible to ensure that security is restored not only to the Northeast, but indeed to the entire country. I want to congratulate you, the government, and people of Borno State, and our troops, as well as the federal government, for what we have jointly done in terms of dismantling Boko Haram Caliphate headquarters that was located in Goza some years back. I'm also familiar with the seriousness of the challenges that we are facing, especially in 2015 and then early 2016. The federal government, recognizing the need to properly equip the Nigerian Air Force, has inducted 22 aircrafts in the last 5 years. Similarly, we are about to receive 17 additional aircrafts, out of which 12 are the Super Tucanos that we are expecting from the US. We have commenced training. And then, of course, the JF-17 fighter aircraft from Pakistan. We have also, despite the COVID-19 pandemic and lack of international flights, we've been able to fly them with our aircraft to Pakistan and to Czech Republic, where these pilots are now receiving training. I believe by the time they conclude their training, they will be here in good time to be able to take over command of the aircraft, and that will certainly add a lot of value to what we are doing. In order to ensure serviceability status is maintained at the highest level, the Air Force has created a maintenance hangar in Maiduguri, which I'm sure His Excellency has taken time to look at. One of the days that we visited, I think I took him there to take a look. So rather than flying our helicopters and other aircraft for maintenance to other parts of the country, we can do it there on the battleground and make sure that the aircraft is ready to be deployed. We have no doubt increased the number of personnel, special forces, and force protection elements that are currently operating in Maiduguri. We have equally ensured that the base in Yola has actually been upgraded substantially to support our operations in the Northeast. Prior to 2015, the Air Force had only 2 units in the whole of Northeast, the one located in Maiduguri and then the unit in Yola. But today, we have units in every state in the Northeast. We have the Special Operations Command headquarters in Bauchi. We have also established a unit in Damaturu with the support of the Yobe State government. We are working to finalize and make sure that we have the number of personnel required in those places. And we have just identified Gombe, because we are expecting unmanned combat aerial vehicles that will be deployed in Gombe. And from Gombe, it will cover not only Gombe State, but it will cover part of Bauchi State, as well as Borno State. The total area of Borno State will be covered by this combat aerial vehicle. We have also established a unit in Taraba State. At the height of farmers-herders clashes, we had to establish a quick response unit of special forces elements that are currently operating in Gembu in Taraba State. So actually, the federal government is supporting us and is giving us everything we require to ensure that the Northeast is secured. And we are working around the clock to ensure that we mobilize every platform that we have in the Air Force, every equipment, every knowledge, every skill, every talent to ensure that the Northeast is secured. And I want to assure you, Your Excellency, that so much, very soon you will see that so much will begin to happen in the Northeast in support of our ground troops. And we'll also make sure that we have taken note of the tumbus that you talked about. And I assure you also that we have a plan in place, and very soon we'll start to take the appropriate steps required to ensure that we clear the area with the ground troops as well. The government is acquiring about 10 additional platforms, which will now be, apart from 17 that I talked about, which will be deployed in the Northeast as well as in the Northwest. And the whole idea is to make sure that we have sufficient assets to be able to cover the landmass. The area is huge, as you are aware. Northeast is about 159,000 square kilometers. If you combine Northeast, North Central, and Northwest, you are talking about over 705,000 square kilometers. So it's a huge area. But I want to assure you that with what the federal government is acquiring, we will continue to synergize with the Nigerian Army. We have been meeting regularly now to see how to move this fight and conclude it as quickly as possible. I want to assure you that we will continue to do everything, Your Excellency, and will continue to support the government and people of Borno State, and indeed all other states within the Northeast, so that you can continue to provide the services that the people are looking up to. I want to, at this point, observe that Nigeria is on a trajectory that will usher in prosperity, stability, unity, and development. And nobody can stop this process. We'll continue to work hard with the state governments and other security agencies as a service to ensure that we secure our country, we protect those sacred values that we hold dear to our hearts as a people and as a nation. So once more, I want to thank you most sincerely, Your Excellency, for taking time out to be here. And I want to assure you and reassure your government and the people of Borno State, and indeed the Northeast, that we will leave no stone unturned in ensuring that we secure and free the area from these terrorists. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Visit to headquarters and join efforts. Let me only refer to Joe Gesta. We feel members of the use of mask, face mask. Very important.
For the insurgents. Their headquarters is in the shores of the Lake Chad. And the only way we can get rid of them is to ensure that we have destroyed the enclaves in the shores of the Lake Chad. The armed forces will take over, while the Nigerian Air Force will provide the necessary air bombardments to clear them in the shores of the Lake Chad so that the area will be safe, that will allow safe return of people into their own localities.
So when you talk about returning people back to their communities, exactly what do you mean? What role would the Air Force play?
The Air Force has been doing very well, as I told you. They have done a lot in clearing the enclaves of the insurgents. But what we mean is that the establishment of civil authorities in the 4 LGS that I've mentioned requires strong and formidable military formation in the areas. And that entails clearing the enclaves. And that is why the government of Borno State, like Oliver Twist, is requesting additional support from the Nigerian military so that they can also provide additional support to ensure that the areas is safe. It's only when this area is safe then the insurgents and the population can return back to their homeland in a dignified manner.
Thank you.
Ministers like you, we give this flower and remember those that have paid the price to where this book is going. Thank you, Excellency. These are the number